Thank you very much for that. Could we move on for the next point?
Yeah. So this one is about the preservation of the Quran. Can I get everyone's position on your view of the preservation of the Quran?
What's the question? I'm not getting you.
I'm asking what your view is on the preservation of the Quran. Do you believe that it's been preserved? And if so, what does it mean to be preserved?
Obviously, you have a question. Go ahead and ask. What's your question?
Yeah, I need to know your position before I can ask a question. So do you believe that the Quran has been preserved? And if so, what does that mean to you?
Yes, the Quran has been preserved. It's a scripture. Okay, what else you want?
Okay, what does preservation mean to you? Do you believe in like letter for letter preservation? What do you believe in?
This is semantics game you like to play with us?
Come on.
I'm sorry? I didn't get that.
As it was revealed to Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam, till this day, the Quran stands preserved, unchanged, word for word, letter.
Okay.
But the hook I can predict to you, he's going to go to Sabat Ahruf. Watch. Go ahead.
Okay, well, since you brought up that, what does that mean, first of all? Could you tell me what that means?
How did I guess that, Jay? Do you think I've been around the block the first time? 45 years, nobody's come up with the argument before?
You brought it up.
You're the first one to come up with this new discovery.
Yeah, so you brought it up. I'm just going by what you're saying. I was going to go somewhere else.
Listen, your question, again, believe me, 45 years, I can smell a mischief maker from 16 kilometers away, which equals 10 miles in imperial systems, okay? But it has been answered over and over and over again. If you had come with good faith, you would have found the answer by now. And let me now ask you first, what do you understand from Ahruf?
Yeah, well, the Muslim consensus is that there's no answer. Muslims don't know what it means. You have over 30 opinions. Jalaluddin As-Sayuti says there are over 35 opinions for what Ahruf means. So what do you think Ahruf means, since you brought it up?
Yeah, Sheikh Mahdi, yeah. Sidi, go ahead and answer him because I am exhausted after 6 years, 6 hours.
45 years and you don't know the answer to what Ahruf means?
Listen, brother, honestly speaking, you are coming up with a loaded question, which is a very easy answer. Before you, many others came, digging a hole for themselves and falling in it, okay?
Oh, holes.
Now, Brother Mahdi, listen, relax.
Well, you mentioned holes. I thought of Yasir Qadhi. I thought of Yasir Qadhi when you said holes.
Relax, please relax. Brother Mahdi, go ahead.
Hafs, there's Warsh, there's Durian, etc. These are all known qira'at that go all the way to the time of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. There's even hadith regarding these qira'at being historical, and they were all recited during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Now, what's the question?
Okay, so you believe that the ones you just mentioned, the specific readings you just mentioned, do you believe that those are the Ahruf?
No, I'm not even going to tell you my full reading of it because you just want to be controversial. But these are the 7 qira'at, only okay, that all existed from the time of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, and the most popular one of them is Hafs today.
Okay, so is it your position that the 7 Ahruf are the 7 qira'at? Is that what you believe?
I'm just talking about qira'at. You go and ask somebody else about Ahruf.
Oh, that's. I mean, Abu Jamal brought up the Ahruf, so I want to know what you guys think it means.
You're gonna ask this, but I recognize there's 7 qira'at, and that's that. Full stop.
Okay, and you also mentioned that it goes back to a hadith. So there's no hadith that mentions anything about the qira'at. Only the Ahruf.
If you want to for you that there are actually several qira'at during the time of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he all acknowledged during his lifetime. These are not things that can...
Are you sure about that? You said there's a hadith about the 7 qira'at?
Yeah, yes, there are.
Do any Muslims want to correct him?
No,
I'm sure. Mr. 45 years, you want to correct him?
Why don't you bring your evidence? Why don't you...
Okay.
Listen, little boy, Mr. J, you know what? Honestly, I'm right now not home, and I told before you appeared on the scene that I'm driving and I'm walking and I'm shopping. I'm getting signals, sometimes not. And that's why I told Brother Mehdi to handle you, because I may miss some of the conversation going on, okay? Otherwise, I have seen many of you little chickies like you come on and go, and believe me, this is nothing, not me, bigger than me, smaller than me. This question has been answered 1,000 times over and over again, and believe me, your attitude, I mean, right now, anybody, if I behave like this in a Christian room, I would have been thrown out a long time ago. But we'll show you what Muslims are, we'll tolerate.
Okay.
Put your child forward. Just look, we'll stop asking us silly questions. Just put your child forward and tell us what the issue is.
Well,
and does that mean
okay. So different Muslims believe different things about the Qira'at and the Ahruf. So I need to know your specific positions before I can go further.
There's only one belief about the Quran.
No, there's not only one belief about the Quran.
There's only one belief. The Quran was revealed upon seven Ahruf, means 7 dialects.
Oh, they're the dialects.
For example, the word heat. The word heatalak. Upon the 7 dialects, this is one of the miracles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He revealed the Quran in 7 dialects, meaning the word itself is the same word pronounced upon 7 dialects of 7 tribes.
Yeah, so you got, for example, al-mu'mineen and al-mu'minoon, al-kafirin and al-kifirin, and so on it goes.
Okay.
So in you believe... one second, or in you, if you, since I'm assuming from your accent, you're from the United States, in US says schedule, right? The schedule, right? This class schedule, train schedule. British call it schedule. Which one is it, schedule or schedule?
Okay, perfect. So I just want to make sure I understand, because there's 3 different people talking. I don't know if you all believe the same thing or not. So do you all believe that the Ahruf are just different dialects, and that these dialects are also the Qira'at? Is that what you guys believe?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the only difference is between, for example, Hafs and Warsh, for example, the only difference between them is dialect. There's no meaning between, like, if one word doesn't mean something else in the other reading. They're just different dialects? Is that what you believe?
Absolutely.
Hold on,
no. Absolutely not.
Oh, not. So they're not just dialects.
They're just dialects. I just said to you, they are dialects.
Okay, but...
Right? Accents.
Yeah, so if that's the case...
The same spelling, pronounced slightly differently from a tribe to another tribe. And
so
I give you an example.
Do you think that they're also...
I think I understand where he's what's his point.
Yeah, he's heading to Malik versus Malik, I think.
Let him come.
I think I do understand your point.
Okay.
I think I do. Go ahead.
Let him attempt to demolish Islam. Islam is the most rising religion in the whole world, and the most standing religion in the whole world. Everyone knows that Islam is not going to be defeated, not militarily, not by argument, not by any other means. Islam withstands and is
by truth
on the earth.
By truth. Okay. I just want to hear the other.
Just before
you
go ahead. I'm sorry. Before you go ahead. I think I do understand your point. Your point is, these dialects doesn't have different meanings in the readings? Is that what you were saying? Right.
If that's I just want to know if that's what they mean by different dialects.
So let me explain to you very quickly. So for example, I'll give you a very good example. The verse that says, أذن للذين يقاتلون بأنهم ظلموا وأن الله على نصرهم لقدير. That's رواية حفص. أذن للذين يقاتلون, the one that is being fought, or the one that is being attacked. أذن الله لهم, which means Allah gave them permission to fight back, right? So that's one way of reading it. In riwayat, for example, قالون عن نافع, it says أذن للذين يقاتلون, the one who fights. Then God here permits the one who fights. Then we have now 2 different,
right?
I would say 2 different meanings.
Not dialects, though, right?
No. But let me just explain my point very, very quickly. So the first meaning, it says Allah permits the one that is being attacked to fight back. The other meaning says Allah permits the ones who are fighters to fight back, right? But the thing is, with all these readings, there is no contradictions in the meaning.
Okay.
So one of the God miracles that he can reveal the Quran in 7 different readings and 7 different dialects that might contain a change of the meaning slightly without contradicting each other, without contradicting. So it can't contradict each other. There's no contradiction. And I can challenge you with that. So if you can bring me 2 dialects or 2 readings that contradict each other in the meaning, then we can move forward with your question.
Also,
Okay,
by the way, I'm sorry. Before you proceed, Jay, I was driving, so I couldn't hear exactly everything was said. Maybe this was already mentioned, but just to tell you one thing: this Sabbath Ahruf has been maintained from day one since Rasulullah's time. It's nothing that occurred as a result of some corruption of the Quran like happened in the Bible. No, they have been. Why would you Muslims preserve all 7 of them from day one until today? Okay. Think about that first before you go further, because that itself is the answer for people who come to attack Sabbath Ahruf. Okay, but if it was repeated, it was said already. Okay, so I apologize for repeating it. But I may be in and out, so I may miss some things brothers may have already said.
Okay, so can I just respond before everybody, because it's not fair if everyone can. Can I go?
You can, but I'm just gonna reason just not to be controversial.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you my wider reading of what you're saying, so I'm gonna keep quiet for a moment just in case some of the Shia and Sunni brothers come and start attacking me, because there is a wider reading that you can actually effectively mute the entire subject from the Quran. But I'll leave that for myself for now.
Okay, so a couple of things. First, the claim is that so now we have a little bit of wider variety of speakers, so I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. So does everybody agree that the Ahruf are the Qira'at, or do we disagree on that?
Qira'at, readings, dialects. Understand? The miracle. Hold on there. Hold on. Could you just wait? The Qira'at, the miracle that the Prophet ﷺ, Muhammad, the final messenger and Prophet of Allah, when different tribes that he never lived with approached him, read to them the Quran in their dialect, in their accent. Isn't that amazing? Exactly the same spelling of the word pronounced as you say. For example, in English, they say rose, rouse, R-O-S-E. How do you pronounce them?
Okay.
Many different ways.
Yeah, so it seems you have a different understanding than the previous speaker. So for you, the guy who was just speaking, I didn't see your name, but do you believe that the only differences between these different readings, like Hafs, Warsh, etc., are only pronunciation between the same spelling, or are you aware that there are actually spelling variants between these as well?
So I already answered this question.
Yeah, but the other guy.
I don't think. I'm not pretty sure if you understand.
I understood you, but the previous guy before me, I want to see if he's on the same page.
You can have a conversation with me at the moment. So if you don't mind, I already answered this question. So move forward with the next question.
Okay. So my question for you is, do you believe that these different readings that we have are the 7 Ahruf?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Can you tell me why you believe that?
Because it was mentioned from Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that he... say that again?
There is no variation in the spelling. The variation...
There is. I can give you verses if you want.
Come on. Show me.
Okay. maybe I can message you privately. I'm not sure how to. I'm kind of new to this application, so I don't know how to give.
No, you give me. Since you brought it up in public and in open. Come up with it, please.
Yeah, I have it. I have it.
You regarded as a liar and a time waster.
Yeah, I have it. So, for example, just off the top of my head, there are some, like in Hafs and Warsh, you can have the difference. Some of them will read the word as kathir, and the other one will read it as kabir. So this is a different. These are different letters.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Brother Jay. I think my point was very clear. My point was very, very, very clear. I'm aware of what you were saying, and my point
seems you are aware, but the other ones aren't aware.
You will have exactly the same meaning.
Okay.
And there is no contradictions in the verse itself, neither the meaning.
Okay, but you're at a different level. You're at a different level than these other people. I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Otherwise, me and you are going to be having a conversation that not everyone's following.
Can we have the reference of the verse, please, and the word?
And where is the writing source? By the way, and I actually choose not to talk about this because I'm going to be controversial. And because I will go directly to the Quran and actually prove the case. But I don't want to be controversial. Earlier I was talking about the stoning issue and I had a bit of controversy, so I'm going to keep quiet on controversial issues. But there is an answer, an emphatic answer in the Quran as to this issue scenario. But I'll leave the other brothers to go with the tradition.
Right, so Brother Jay, did you hear my answer? Brother Jay?
Yeah, sorry. I just changed my profile picture for the guy who was asking for a reference, so everyone can just, I don't know if it updated or not, but
I think it's cropped, so we can't actually see the...
It's too small? Okay, okay. Pixelated probably, okay. Okay, so I'll be able to send the reference by another means, but so you were about to say that you believe that the hadith mention these different qira'at, is that right?
Yeah, so what I was trying to say there, and that's what I'm repeating myself basically right now. So what I'm trying to say is that there is no contradictions and there is no change of the meaning. So if you can bring contradictions or change of the meaning, then you have a point. But there is no point there because there is no contradiction in the meaning or change.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
You hear it.
Okay, sorry about that. For something glitched or something happened. I wasn't able to hear the last part of what he said. Something about contradictions, but I just wanted to know specifically, do you believe that the Qira'at are the Ahruf from the Hadith or not, before we can move on to whether the contradictions or not?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم.
Okay, maybe he had to step away. I'm not sure. So, Abu Jamal, are you still there? I know he said he was driving, so just wanted to see if he was there, because I wanted to respond to something that he said earlier.
Sorry, everybody. I think my line dropped.
Yeah,
I'm not pretty sure. I'm not pretty sure if you heard what I was saying. I was saying you would have a point if there was a contradiction in the meaning or a change of the meaning. Then there would be a point. But there is no point because there is no contradictions in the meaning. So now, to be very clear, Rasulullah ﷺ, when a Sahabi came to him and he asked him that I've heard another Sahabi, I've heard another companion reading the verse differently than the way I hear it. Then the Prophet Muhammad said, that's how it was revealed to me. And he repeated it 3 times. So we can clearly see that the 7 readings, it was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad with the 7 readings. So there's no change, there's no contradictions in meanings. That's what I was trying to say. And it was revealed exactly with the 7 different readings. I hope that answers the question.
So just to be 100% clear on this, you believe that the 7 Ahruf are the 7 Qira'at. That's what you believe?
I already answered this question.
You do? Okay. So how do you deal with people like Ibn al-Jazari, for example, who added 3 other readings to Ibn Mujahid's 7? So now there are 10 Qira'at. Are these also the 7 Ahruf? Or, like, in your view, how do you explain that?
Okay, so in my view, usually in any case like this in Islam, we take by Jumhur al-Ulama, or the majority of the scholars. What the majority of the scholars say is what we follow. We don't go ahead and some scholars might make mistakes because they are human beings at the end of the day. So if most and I'm sorry. Yeah. So I was saying if majority and most and 99% of the scholars agree on something, and then there's one scholar that is basically disagreeing, then we go with the majority of the scholars.
Okay. So what do you think the majority of scholars say? Because the majority of scholars don't actually say that the 7 Ahruf are the 7 Qira'at. Jalaluddin as-Sayuti, for example, said that people only believe that in ignorance, because when Ibn Mujahid took the 7 Qira'at, it had 7 Qira'at, and people thought, oh, there's a hadith about 7 Ahruf, so it must be 7 Qira'at. But he said that was based on ignorance. That's not the case. So I don't know if you're aware of the Muslim position on this or not, the majority view.
We are aware, my brother, and I told you that majority of the scholars do agree that the 7 Qira'at, or the 7 readings, or the 7 Ahruf, are the ones who were revealed upon the Prophet Muhammad the way it's read right now. It doesn't have any contradiction in the meaning, and until now I don't actually get your point.
Okay.
Because for the 7 Qira'at, there is no contradictions. So can you please tell me your point? What's exactly the point that you're trying to bring?
Well, because there are different. So initially there are 7 Qira'at, but then that's expanded to 10 later on. So if you're familiar,
by the way, if you look at it, by the way, I don't want to give my full assessment of this from the Quran, but I agree with the brother. Everything he said so far, there's a deeper assessment.
As you can see, brothers, this gentleman is not talking about the content and the meaning of the Quran. It doesn't make any difference to him.
Yeah, I can bring up the content. I just need to know the positions.
Yeah, the position is that
no. You come to the point.
Are called Shazat. They're called
You come
Shazat.
to the point.
There's a name for them. It's called Shazat, basically.
Yeah, Shawaz.
Come to the main point that you're trying to that you're trying to make.
Well, yes, the point that I'm trying to make, very similar to the point that Sheikh Yasir Qadhi made, is that there are holes in the narrative in regards to the relationship between the Ahruf and Qira'at according to the traditional Muslim understanding.
Who's that? Sorry?
Sheikh Yasir Qadhi.
He doesn't have a clue, obviously, on the matter.
And who is he? Who is he?
Are recited by communities. They don't need to go by Sheikh X or Sheikh Y. They're already recited amongst them.
You don't know who Sheikh Yasir Qadhi is?
I know him.
I don't know. Can you introduce to us who he is?
Join with a man who needs no introduction at all. Someone who has done it all in dawah, has been in the East and has been in the West, has acquired, as I say, more degrees than a thermometer. Dr. Yasir Qadhi, how are you?
So that phrase really tickles me.
He embarrassed himself basically because he showed that he didn't have a clue what's going on. But anyway, I'm not going to go into the deeper subject of Yasir Qadhi and others.
So Mahdi knows who he is. I'm sure Abu Jamal knows who he is as well.
Mahdi, what knowledge does this guy have that he's bringing as an evidence to judge the Quran?
He was a former Salafi brother who kind of left out of Salafism, then became a bit dubious, and I don't know whether it's for attention seeking or not. He had a so-called private debate with what's his name? What's his name today? Muhammad
Hijab.
Ahmed Hijab.
Yeah.
And then they publicized. I don't know whether they were seeking attention or what have you. Showed that they were ignorant on the subject.
Yeah.
And
Mahdi, 1 second. But Brother Las, I think he's not alim. He himself, Yasir Qadhi. I think that was the last I heard, Yasir Qadhi. I just came back in the signal. But yeah, Yasir Qadhi, he's just a speaker. One of those guys.
No, he's a
He doesn't
sheikh.
claim to be alim, and
it doesn't matter. All
He's a sheikh. He has ijazah.
I think you need
my
to.
children call me Sheikh too. Sheikh is the older person.
No. He has ijazah from University of Medina.
I think you need to first understand. I'm very, very sorry, guys, but you need to first understand how a Muslim or who we consider a Muslim scholar, right? I'm sorry, but this Yasir al-Qadhi, with all due respect, which most of Muslims know nothing about him, he cannot be a Muslim scholar who would actually say that this is that and this is not that and whatever. We can have different opinions.
It doesn't have an opinion on the issue anyway. Yasir Qadhi is may Allah shall give him wisdom. He's made some blunderous mistakes, and the one of the biggest.
You agree he's a sheikh, though, right?
I don't acknowledge his sheikh.
Okay, but he has ijazah. He has ijazah.
Jay, you don't understand ijazah. Just don't mention these words willy-nilly without knowing what they are.
Okay.
Sorry, do you know how many people in the world has ijazah?
Yes, but he's qualified as a scholar.
No, he's not. There's nothing.
He writes fatwas.
Can I ask you
one
question to Jay? Jay,
can I get a fatwa from Abu Jamal? Can I get a fatwa from one of you?
Most people give you fatwa and ijazah. I have ijazah in, okay? But Yasir Qadhi, when did he claim he has ijazah in Qira'at or Ahruf?
He didn't.
Do you know what ijazah he is? Did he tell you? Or you talking about it? First find out what he.
Okay, no big deal. Okay.
Yeah, I said, so what? I could get you some Christian scholars who actually are Christian and they believe that the Bible has got nothing to do with God.
No, you couldn't do that. But okay.
I could do it locally. I know some things locally.
Listen, if you're going to use Yasir Qadhi as your strongest evidence, he himself will tell you no.
That's not my strongest evidence. I was making reference to him on the point that I'm making with you guys.
Okay, then bring your strongest evidence.
Yes. So, well, the evidence, I think it's been presented so far that you guys don't really know the difference between the Qira'at and Ahruf, and that's the entire point I'm trying to make. You're claiming that the Quran is preserved. You're claiming that the Quran is preserved, but you don't even know what the Quran is.
No, we know it better than you. With all due respect, we know it better than you and better than some of the other people. But anyway, since you're appealing to authority, tell us what Yasir Qadhi said. And what was his evidence? Go on.
Yes.
I'll tell you what,
okay.
What he said. But I'm not
so his major point that he was making was that this has created doubt in Islam since the very beginning. The hadith that you mentioned earlier with Ubay, when he heard this other person reciting a chapter from the Quran, he brought him to Muhammad and he said, Muhammad taught me this way, and I heard this guy say it this way. And Muhammad said, no, I taught both ways. And then Ubay said that doubt entered into my heart more so than even before, the days of Jahiliyyah.
And what? So these are all just some people claim that. Wait.
So doubt has always entered the Muslim heart when they found out that there are multiple versions of the Quran.
Jay, you need to let the Mahdi answer, because when you speak, his voice dies out. Now, from now on, once he's talking, if you don't mute your mic, we'll have to mute your mic for you, because you're talking over him. It subdues his voice. Okay, Mahdi needs to answer you. Let him answer. Show some respect. You ask a question. Let him finish the answer. Now, please be quiet until he finishes. Until Mahdi tells you I'm done, you start after that.
دم المسيح غالي